A while back I got an email from a guy at mezaheadphones.com about whether I'd like to do a review for their wooden headphones. I am kind of keen on a better pair of headphones because I'm too cheap to buy really good ones. So I offered to put it on my other channel, which has not nearly as many subscribers, and surprisingly they agreed. And so they sent them to me. Ooh, bubble wrap. Meze 99 Classics. Nice box. Well, these do look nice. I was afraid they might be a bit too heavy because the wooden thing on here, but I imagine it's fairly thin. For a second I was afraid they might be wireless. So I guess the cable plugs in here. I think this fabric wrap cable is a little bit more prone to getting twisty like that. Okay, one of my big issues with headphones is how good are they at blocking out annoying noises. And so I've taken this microphone and I made a block of wood for it to go in there so I can test it to see how well it blocks annoying noises. And let's start recording on here. And I have an annoying noisemaker, my little router here. And so it's quite loud, and I'll keep this position here all the time. And now, cupping my hands over it. Now testing it with the Sony headphones. These don't block as much. And now with these ones. And now with the earmuffs. So these ones here really block the noise. So I've also been trying out these headphones against these ones and against my speakers in terms of editing video, and I can tell with these ones that my audio is less than perfect. These do have, I'm pretty sure, better sound reproducibility, but I actually don't like the sound of these that much. The bass on these is just so strong, much stronger than any other headphones that I've had, and I'm not a fan of the really loud bass. So I actually prefer the sound of these for listening to music. So these ones come with what they say the sound reproduction is across the spectrum. So I don't know what's happening here, because either all the other headphones have much weaker bass, or maybe these just couple way too well to the ear to really transmit the bass much better. They also come with another little cord, which has got a little button on there for remote controlling to work with iPhone or Android device, neither of which I have. And they also come with a 1/4-inch adapter and this for airplanes. I think these would be really good in a plane because they do block a lot of sound. The wood on here just looks so smooth, but let's see. Yeah, it is real wood. It is kind of sacrilege doing that to these headphones. So I've just pulled this off and taken the screws out of here. And yeah, definitely real wood. That must have been CNC milled. Very nicely made. Okay, baby, now you're gonna have to scream that much louder to keep me from editing video. Come on, scream. Too much attention. Well, it's now a day later and I'm still playing around with these headphones. I emailed the Meze headphone people about the bass being quite strong, and they sent me some files that basically just play a tone going up and down to burn these in. And so what I did is I actually unplugged one side and I played that loud for about half an hour. But doing tests afterwards, I can't tell the difference at all. I'm just not an audiophile. I can't tell the difference between gold-plated and non-gold-plated audio cables either. But reviewing my video files so far, when I tested it with the microphone, the sound isolation of these ones is almost as good as these ones, and these are dedicated sound blocking earmuffs. Listening to more songs with these headphones just to try them out, especially stuff by Jesse Cook that has a very busy bass line, The sound of these start to remind me of when I've built my own speakers and I didn't put enough dampening in there, so that when certain frequencies hit, they just become too strong and it's kind of dominates the sound too much. Now, these are not as bad as forgetting to put the dampening in the speaker, it's just in that direction. And so I figured nothing to lose, and I opened up one side that put in a lot more sound dampening, and then testing them this way and that way and this way again, and consistently the side that I find is more drony always ends up being the side that I haven't modified. By the way, I love how this comes out. The thing I don't like about the cord is the way this is, because I keep snagging that, at least on my table saw when I'm doing the videos. Okay, let's begin the sacrilege of modifying the other side. So there's a little foam pad in here. So what I'm using is some of this blue shop towel. I'm sure it's perfectly audio grade. It's about the width to fit in here. Need to fold that about here. So that needs to fit in here. So I need to cut the corners out of it to get around the screws. Fits in there and it's quite packed. Now I gotta get this part back on, and that's kind of tricky actually. So with apologies to Meze Headphones for doing what I did to their headphones, they do have a voucher code Matthias10, which will give you a 10% discount off of headphones like this.